Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Alkaline Life TV, previously known as Shan Stratton Live. Folks, the digestion revolution, which is what we're really starting right now, and the importance of alkaline living has become much bigger than anything that we had anticipated, and previously had been known as Shan Stratton Live. From this point forward, everything is going to be referred to as Alkaline Life TV. We're going to be branding all over YouTube. We're going to be putting videos up on YouTube all of the time so that people can really understand the importance of living an alkaline lifestyle. And tonight we're going to focus primarily on digestion and nutrient utilization. In fact, it's going to be even a little bit more targeted to infant reflux, also referred to often as colic. Now, folks, this is a massive issue, and it's something that I've been really excited to share. And so it's perfect timing that our very first issue in the digestion revolution, and the very first one that is going to be under the label of Alkaline Life TV, is in fact about how we can improve that quality of life for the infants, our children, but then also, just as importantly, for everybody that consumes nutrients. See, when we talk about digestion revolution, we do that because digestion, or the lack thereof, referred to as indigestion, is seriously a problem. It's becoming an epidemic, to the point that, folks, latest research shows that over 50% of all infants are going to experience that painful process of colic or infant reflux. So let's look at that. Let's address that. Now, some of you may be saying, well, what gives us the credibility to address something like this? Well, folks, first of all, I'm not a doctor, nor do I pretend to be a doctor, nor am I wanting to diagnose, but I will tell you, I've been in this industry, specifically digestion and gut health, for almost 25 years. Over this period of time, I've had the great opportunity of working with professional athletes and athletic organizations, including teams like the New York Yankees, teams like the LA Dodgers and the San Diego Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Also teams like the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs and many others. Now, I'm not saying that those teams endorse me. They do not. But what I am saying is that the information, the products, the philosophies that we've been teaching now for going on 25 years is impacting the performance of individuals. Well, guess what? Their performance is no more important than your performance. And more importantly, the performance, so to speak, of a baby, of a child, needs to be addressed. Because as I said, over 50% of the children, of the infants, are going to experience infant reflux. We believe that we have some answers. We believe that we have some things that are going to help you and everybody else that logs into Alkaline Life TV, going to help us understand what we can do to fix the problem, not just mask the symptoms. That's one of the biggest problems that's going on, not only in America, but around the world today, is we're masking problems. We're masking symptoms. See, acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, GERD's disease, gastroesophageal reflux disease, colic, irritable bowel syndrome, many of those issues are, in fact, symptoms of a bigger problem. So we have to look at what is the problem. Well, we now know, in fact, I think it's been known for some time, but it's just never really been educated. It's never really been put out there in the masses, like what we're going to do on Alkaline Life TV. And what we're doing here at Core Health Products is we are making sure that people understand that we can address the problem, which is the inability to digest or utilize the nutrients that we are consuming. When we consume any food that is cooked or processed, it can cause a massive influx of acid secretion. And with that massive influx of acid secretion, we can experience things like acid reflux, heartburn, GERDs, okay, that acid starting to back up through the esophageal, okay? Those types of problems are caused from inabilities or indigestion. So when we start talking about indigestion, understand that the anti-acid industry, things like the Purple Pill and Maalox and Pepto-Bismol and all of those anti-acids, Tums and so on, folks, it's a $60 billion with a B dollar industry. $60 billion. Now, to give you a little bit of a measuring stick, so to speak, it was just a couple of days ago, they were talking on a national news channel about a merger of this big tech company, and it was like a $16 billion merger, and they were talking about the astronomical number of $16 billion and how huge and gigantic that is, and people can't even relate to how large that number in money is. But yet I'm telling you that antacids, over-the-counter sold antacids, are a $60 billion industry. And it is so mass consumed, so widely accepted and consumed that is one of the problems or one of the challenges that's causing the problem to get worse. Now, why would I say that when we're talking about infants? Okay, the topic of this webinar is infant reflux or colic. Why would I be referring to this big industry, and how does it relate to the infants? Please understand that a child's internal ecosystem, if you will, is determined by parents. If you or your spouse has had long-term issues, or not even long-term, have had issues with any of these imbalance of the pH, acid reflux, heartburn, irritable bowel syndrome, GERD's disease, any of these, constipation, diarrhea, much of that, testing shows, is being passed on to our infants. So yes, absolutely, this mass consumption of antacids is in fact causing a huge problem, not only in America, but around the world today, and we believe that we can address that. Again, this is something that I have focused on. My company, Core Health Products, has really focused on for many years, and in this industry for almost 25 years, watching and helping people understand that we're addressing symptoms, not problems. So let's talk about what the problems are. We know the symptoms. The problem is us not breaking nutrients down that is being consumed. So when we consume, let's look at the example. When we consume something that is raw, okay, like God intended, raw fruits or vegetables, you eat a good, healthy, nice salad, or you drink a good, organic, raw greens drink, or you eat some sushi, or whatever it is, every raw food is packed full of one common denominator in every single instance, and that common denominator is enzymes. Folks, enzymes are mandatory for balancing the pH, for digestion of nutrients, and for growth and health cultivation of our gut. Enzymes, probiotics, and prebiotics must be considered if we're going to fix the problem rather than masking the symptoms. So when we consume a raw food, enzymes are in it, we chew it up, we swallow it, it sits in that upper portion of the stomach, upper portion of the stomach surrounds it, small amount of acid, hydrochloric acid, is secreted. Now that's a natural process. We want acid because acid is what activates some of the very important enzymes, especially in the stomach. The enzyme pepsin, for example, it requires acid. So acid is secreted in a natural process. But what happens is, when that acid is secreted, and if there are no enzymes, then we secrete more and more and more and more acid. So acid begins to elevate, and all of a sudden we start having these burning sensations until eventually we start saying we are smart. We are just going to do what we do, but then we're going to consume antacids and suppress that acid very quickly so that the burning sensation goes away. So we've addressed that symptom. Over a period of time, because see, right now, some of the big experts, some of the big studies are coming out saying, wait a minute, maybe we're wrong. We think now that acid reflux and GERD's disease and indigestion are just as much a cause of too low acid as it is too much acid. So what I've been trying to teach is that acid is causing this problem. And now studies are saying, no, it's because it's too low. Here's why. Guys, understand this. This is so exciting because we have some answers. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing. I'm not diagnosing. I'm simply sharing the basic physiology, the basic workings, internal workings of our digestive processes. When we, over a period of time, eat cooked and processed foods that cause this spike in acid, consume acid-based drinks that cause a spike in acid, when we have all this acid and then we suppress it, over a period of time, our body is smart enough to say, hey, you keep suppressing this acid after you called for it. So you call for all this acid goes up to try and melt those foods down, now you suppress it. So over a period of time, the body says, okay, I get you. I'm not going to secrete much acid anymore because you keep suppressing it so much that maybe you're smarter than I am. So, okay, I'm not going to produce much anymore. So what happens now? We lack acid production. In comes the food. No acid production to activate those enzymes. So now those studies and those experts that are saying, oh, it's because of too low of acid. Guess what? Too low of acid is a symptom, again, of the bigger problem which started probably many, many years ago, possibly even generations ago. See, I hope you're following me here, because as we as a society continue to consume more and more and more cooked and processed foods, the body secretes acid goes up, we then suppress it with antacids, acid goes down. Acid goes up, acid goes down. Acid goes up, we keep suppressing it. Are you starting to see the pattern? Over a period of time, that body says, I can't keep up with you. So I'm just going to wear out and not produce as much. So whether the problem is from too low acid, or the symptom, is being from too low acid or too much acid, the larger picture is coming from that early that early consumption of all these processed, these cooked, these irradiated, all of these genetically modified organisms and foods, and GMOs, one of the worst things you can do. All of these types of things are what are causing the problem. Let me give you a little better visual example here, okay? I want you to understand, before I show you this demonstration, that, in fact, I'm just going to show you the demonstration, okay? Many of you have seen this, and if you haven't, I ask you to take this video and send it on to others, okay? Share this video because this is a powerful video that helps us understand how it is supposed to work. In a normal process, we chew up the food that is raw because it's full of enzymes. We chew it up, we swallow it. Upper portion of the stomach, small amount, acid secreted. The acid activates some of the enzymes, natural process. The enzymes then begin digestion of that food. Everything's great. But when we consume cooked or processed, here's what happens. I want you to look at this pudding pack as the stomach. The pudding inside of it is this chunk of food that you, your family members, your children, your baby is consuming, comes into the body. Upper portion of the stomach, there are no enzymes to break that food down. So here's what we have. Okay, we have food on the inside that is these large chunks of food. And in that scenario, we are unable to utilize these nutrients the way that it should be utilized, okay? So the stomach says, oh, secrete acid, let's churn it around, let's start creating that gurgling sensation, let's really get a bunch of acid down there. And what do we have? Okay, we still have that same food until the body massively increases acid to try and liquefy this food. Now, we've got two of them here. Set that one over here. Now we're going to take this one. I want to look at the exact same scenario, but this time we're going to add back in there our most popular product, which is called Digestive Health. Digestive Health is by far and away our largest, our most popular product as far as testimonials go. We're going to take one of those capsules, okay? We're going to open it up, and I'm going to take the same pudding. We're going to drop the powder in there, and as you can see, as we churn this around, same process happens as with the other one, but in this case, we've actually got some enzymes put back in there, okay? Now, in the instant, nothing's different, okay? In the instant, this pudding, or in your case, food, whatever it is sitting down there in the stomach saying, man, I don't know what to do. Now, we're going to set it right over here. And I'm going to give it about 5 minutes here. I'm going to give you this visual. Think about for a minute what it is that transports our nutrients that we consume. So whether you're trying to eat healthy or you're not trying to eat healthy, you eat good, you eat bad, you drink water, whatever it is, what is it that takes those nutrients, transports them around through the body and delivers those carbohydrates, those proteins, those fats to the legs, to the arms, to the brain, to the chest, to every organ and every system and every tissue in the entire body? It's the red blood cells. Okay, the red blood cells transport, they float around in there, they come through, they pick up the nutrients. Okay, that's why you hear words like nutrient absorption. They absorb the nutrients, then they carry those nutrients throughout the entire body, right? Now think about it. And the reason I get so graphic here is because when you realize this next part, you're going to say, oh, that makes a lot of sense. How big is a red blood cell? Think about it. How big? Can you show me? Can you look on your finger and see how big a red blood cell is or how small? No, it's smaller than the eye can detect. Those red blood cells are so teeny tiny, but yet I just told you that every food you eat can only be transported or carried or absorbed throughout the body once it is carried by the red blood cell. So when you consume a food, I don't care if it's healthy or unhealthy. Let's say you're one of the healthy people that eats grilled chicken breast instead of fried chicken. You eat raw vegetables and things like that. You eat wheat bread instead of white bread. Okay, you eat fish instead of pork and things like that. So you're trying your very best to eat healthy. Here it comes. In comes that grilled fish, that grilled chicken breast, those steamed vegetables. That grilled chicken breast has to be broken down so tiny before it can be pulled through into the red blood cell and circulated for nutrient utilization. Our platform, our company teaches nutrient utilization is more important than just nutrient consumption. Just because you consume a food does not mean you are utilizing that food. Maybe you're someone that says, I try and feed my children healthy and my newborn baby. We give him such healthy food. Consumption does not always equal absorption without the presence of enzymes. Now, how does that relate to colic, to infant reflux? Folks, it's simple. If the enzymes aren't present, whether they are being naturally created from the pancreas and from the saliva and other areas, or whether they're being supplementally consumed, if there aren't enough enzymes in that baby child, whatever food he or she is consuming, whether it's milk, whether it is breast milk, whether it doesn't matter what it is. If those nutrients don't have the presence of enzymes, they cannot be completely broken down. So what happens? That child has no other way of expressing to mommy or daddy that, oh, my stomach hurts so bad, same as you having a heartburn, indigestion, irritable bowel, acid reflux, GERD's disease, constipation, diarrhea, whatever. All of those problems or symptoms, are caused from a lack of digestive abilities, therefore called indigestion. Folks, there is a reason that God put enzymes in every single raw food, without exception. So who am I to say I'm smarter than God is, so I'm going to eat most of my food only after I cook and kill every enzyme? And more so, why are we seeing it in our infants? Guys, the infant reflux segment is the fastest growing segment in our company at Core Health Products. The fastest, most quickest growing, most strongest testimonials provided, the greatest stories are coming from those mothers that are saying, my child had colic, my child had infant reflux, my child was diagnosed from the doctor to start on the antacids or an antacid, and we were able to change that by going back to the very basics of how God intended our insides to work. How it was intended for nutrients to be utilized or absorbed. Nutrient utilization is more important than just nutrient consumption. So let's go back. Let's take the first one that I opened up. That's what we have. We have that food sitting in the stomach, that baby child. Think about the little baby laying there, consuming milk, whether it be through a bottle, whether it be breast milk, whatever it is. Maybe he or she's old enough where they're actually getting some baby food or whatever, however old that baby is, and all of a sudden colic. And man, it's an ongoing issue. And if any of you have had children with colic or infant reflux, you know that it is excruciating, not only for the child, but for mom and dad. And it's because the food in the stomach is not able to be broken down. Therefore, the body has this great ability to say, hey, something's not right. It's not working the way that I was intended to function. These large chunks of food sit in our stomach and cannot go on through until either this massive influx of acid, which bubbles it down, okay, it's like a bubbling cauldron of acid, bubbles it down into little enough particles to push it on through the system and cause maybe constipation or maybe diarrhea, or over a period of time, the stomach says, man, I just can't keep secreting that acid day after day after day at high amounts. I'm just watching you suppress it, so I'm giving in. I'm going to quit secreting acid. Now all of a sudden, what's showing up? Whoa! This acid reflux stuff is being caused from too little acid. That's the back end of the symptoms. That's the back end. That's the stage 2 from what we have found. So again, look at it here. Cooked and processed foods, the body can't use that. On the other side, we take this same exact food that was cooked or processed, the same exact container, we added the enzymes that were needed. Whether that be a newborn baby, whether that be a 1-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 20-year-old, or whether that be you. Folks, this is just as an important message, if not, well, maybe not more so, but it's just as important for you, your spouse, your family members, old and young, as it is for the infant. We consume that same food now. The same food that was going to cause this massive influx of acid, or on the back end, this depletion of acid. And now the stomach says, hey, I've got to have enzymes. And now in this scenario, we do have. Remember, I added one capsule, just one capsule of the Digestive Health. Digestive Health is formulated to have all the needed enzymes for carbohydrates, for proteins, for fats, for all of these different nutrients to be digested and broken down. And in a short 10 minutes, we have now food that has turned into liquid. Okay, so I would ask you, are you now able to see where this food is going to be able to be broken down, or is broken down? It is small enough now in a form that it can be absorbed and utilized. So now we don't have to have that acid secretion. Acid goes up, we start burning, we suppress it. Over a period of time, the stomach says, the pancreas says, the body says, I can't keep up with this high and low, and you keep suppressing it, so heck with it. I'm not going to secrete enough anymore. Now the studies come back, oh, not enough acid. So let's put acid pumps in the body. That's just extending the symptoms. Folks, here at Core Health Products, I hope that you're able to see this is an absolute passion of ours. Indigestion is becoming an epidemic. Over 50% of our newborn baby children have infant reflux or colic. It's excruciating. It's an epidemic. And it's caused from the inability to digest. And that inability to digest then ultimately, over a period of years, starts causing other issues, nutrient deficiencies. Even though, think about it, how many of you know someone that consumes good, healthy nutrients? They eat a good, healthy diet, but yet they have osteoporosis. They eat a good, healthy diet, but yet they're sick a lot. They eat a good, healthy diet, but their energy is very low. If you can't utilize those good nutrients coming in, it's not going to make any difference, and it's going to cause long-term issues such as we just mentioned. This digestion revolution that we at Core Health Products is starting, we hope that you join us in teaching people. Okay, that's why we started this Alkaline Life TV. Enzymes are as, if not more, alkalizing than almost anything else you can do. Now, not by quantity. By quantity, the best thing you can do is drink Kangen water, alkalizing water. That is by volume the best, most efficient, most effective way to balance that body's pH. Balancing the body's pH allows for enzymes to function more efficiently and effectively. Probiotics, that is mandatory for true gut health, must have a balance in pH to function properly. So we've got to understand. Change the largest component of our body, which is water, to Kangen water. But then we've got to incorporate other alkaline living principles, starting with, first and foremost, a good broad blend of digestive enzymes. Not just your fluff enzymes that most company will put, your proteases and your amylases. Folks, you've got to have a broad spectrum of full range, complete digestive enzymes like we incorporate. Then also in the digestive, we incorporate all of the probiotics. Nutrient utilization cannot occur without proper gut health. Probiotics and prebiotics are mandatory for that. Also included in the digestive health. Bottom line, the digestive health gives you everything you need to increase the ability to utilize the nutrients that you are consuming. So when we go back to closing this out from the children, it's as simple as providing a broad range of good, holistically, all-natural, organically based, non-synthetic, non-GMO enzymes and living active cultures of probiotics. Acidophilus, Reuteri, Bifidum. Folks, there are only 13 stabilized strains of probiotics in the entire world. We use in digestive health all 13 strains to make sure that we're cultivating and growing that gut health. Not just in the gut, but all the way from the ears, nose, and throat, all the way down through the colon. That entire tube requires presence of pro and prebiotics. That ecosystem is truly referred to as the unlisted or unknown or unnamed organ. Many experts are now saying that ecosystem, okay, that health of that GI tract, mainly in the gut, is as important as any other organ in your body. Take care of that gut. It starts with enzymes and probiotics and prebiotics. The children, maybe they got it from you. Maybe they didn't. It doesn't matter. Let's quit fixing symptoms and address the problem. And that can be done, as I said, with digestive health, with the probiotics, enzymes, and everything else. So, with that being said, we hope that each and every one of you, first of all, learned something tonight. I hope that you did. I also hope that you will join us in this revolution, in helping teach people how to increase the utilization of their nutrients, how to balance the pH of their body with Kangen water, how to increase the absorption and utilization of vitamins and minerals and all these other things that we talk about every single Tuesday night. But we're going to be adding 2 or 3 or 4 videos every single week on our Alkaline Life TV channel on YouTube. So I would ask each and every one of you to please click on the subscribe button. Now, whether it's on the video you're watching right now, click on that subscribe. And if it's not, then log in or go to YouTube, type in Alkaline Life TV, and subscribe to our channel. That way, every video that we put out there, you will get a notification that we have a new video out. Every Tuesday, we're going to be doing an educational video like I'm doing right now, but during the week, all of our educational pieces will only be 4, maybe 5 minutes long. I'm going to be doing them from all over. Maybe it'll be in front of the most recent team that I'm working with. Maybe it'll be down at the therapy clinic. Maybe it'll be outside in our horses, okay, with the horses behind us. Maybe it'll be down at the river. Don't know, but we're going to be putting all kinds of short clips of education out there. We hope that you join us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Alkaline Life TV, so you can be notified. Now, in closing tonight, we want to give a great special out there. Okay, we want to make sure that everyone has access to this. So what we're going to do, this is no coupon code products. Thank you so much for this opportunity to educate you, which more importantly, educates more people than we could ever touch. So thank you for being part of this revolution. Thank you for your interest. God bless you and your family, and I look forward to the next time.